Peace and love, peace and love. Welcome back, welcome back. We're gonna wrap it up on this NASA thing on this last one here, man. I ain't gonna talk about them too much, man, because we got a whole lot of other stuff to talk about, a whole lot of more important stuff to discuss, go over. Besides NASA, the thing is, this is real important, and where you are, what you are, or who you are is the main goal of the questions that's being asked right now. You know what I'm saying? Who you are, what you are, and where you are. And all of them are big, and where you are is real big. See, if they can get you to believe that you on this ball spinning in space, tilted, and keep you off balance, keep your thought process off balance, then you'll never figure out what's going on, who you really are, what's really happening. They always have you focused on something else. It's that whole thing. What's that over there? That's what they doing. It's all day long. Instead of having you look down at the earth that you walking on and trying to figure it out from there, they got you looking into space and seeing what they want you to see, showing you the images they want you to have. Now, last time I stopped off, I had just done this project, found out all the roads, bridges, and tracks ever laid. None of them were laid with curvature taken into consideration. That's building material, man. That's building material, time and energy. Bridges, roads, completely flat, completely level, 100 miles long, 200 miles long. So that's a big problem right there. And in my mind, I was sitting there thinking, like, I done figured it out, like the math is wrong and all this other stuff. And that had went on for about 2 days. And then I was like, hold up. The math is wrong. That means all the computers are wrong. All the calculators, all the math classes, all the math professors, all the math students, everybody wrong. And you got it right? Like, no. And to figure out how the math worked, I realized I gotta figure out calculus. I gotta understand calculus. I gotta take calculus. Eventually I did. And what I thought was crazy, like calculus, it was cool, man. But like, what I thought was crazy was I thought we would spend a lot of time on the curvature of the earth. I thought that would be a big deal in calculus class. I don't know, but maybe that was just my mindset. Except we did go over the formula. Found out how it worked, understood the formula and everything, and started understanding how they're doing what they're doing. The math, what I found out was the math is perfect. The math is perfect. The math is impeccable. You can't mess with the math. That's why when they write them calculations, you can't mess with it. All that stuff they wrote down on a piece of paper, you can't mess with it. The thing about it is it don't have to be real. It don't have to be there. If you ain't never gonna touch it, if you never gonna see it with your own eyes, you never gonna experience it for yourself, it's a bunch of calculations on a piece of paper, and that's the game. You gotta believe in it. You gotta trust in it. You see what I'm saying? The math is right. It's gonna work out. It's like the boy in the plastic bubble. All the doctors told him, "Oh man, by all the tests we done ran and whatnot, if you go out here and you breathe this air and blah blah blah, you gonna get sick." And then finally, one day, the boy in the plastic bubble finally goes out and breathes the air after living for years in that plastic bubble, wanting to go out, couldn't go out, scared that he was going to die, scared of what was going to happen. He goes outside the plastic bubble, and what happens? He fine. Ain't nothing wrong. Been living that plastic bubble for a long time. It's the same thing they do with these movies where the child is taken in by some guardian or adoptive parent or something, or maybe their own parents, and the parent is making the child sick, and the child doesn't know it. The child thinks the parent is taking care of them, meanwhile steadily making them sick. Oh, feeding them through their breakfast or lunch or dinner or all three meals, depending on whatever it is. And the doctors can never figure it out. They actually got it's a disease. I think it's called Munchausen syndrome or something, where the parent is making the child sick in order to get sympathy for the parent or whatever. But what I'm saying is that's sort of the same concept. Oh man, oh yeah, I can't be remiss and forget this. The movies where there was one movie in particular that I watched, man, it was crazy, and I thought it summed up our world perfectly. These people were set out in the woods, and it was like not medieval times. It was something like the 15th, 16th century, and like these people had this village, and they lived out there, and they had these thick woods that were all around them, and everybody was warned not to go out into the woods. Something bad is going to happen. There's like these monsters or creatures that live out in the woods. So the people are all living, and finally somebody gets sick, and somehow they have these needles, hypodermic needles, like you for a doctor, giving people these shots of medicine to get them better. And like somebody who's outside of the circle of knowledge of what's going on finds out about it, and then they start wondering what's going on, and then they start thinking, well, maybe we can go out into the woods. Start going out into the woods, the monsters show up. Well, you find out the monsters are the people that's trying to keep them in this little area, stay in this little area. It's a nice big village. It's like they've been supposedly been living there for I want to say at least about something like a 50 to 100 years so far. Like people have lived and died, and children have been born and have been growing up. So anyway, they find out the monsters are these people that's inside the inner circle. So eventually, a group of them, venture out into the woods as far as they can go. Now they've been living, horse and buggy, no electricity, like no running water. You got a well, you got buckets and whatnot, like the bonnets on the head for the girls with the dresses, with the aprons and all that. Like they living like that, man. Like plain shoes, ain't no name brand, nothing. It's like you making shoes and repairing shoes and making your own clothes and growing veg. Like you slaughter your own animals. You're growing everything. You're all completely self-sufficient in this little community, right? So when they finally go out and venture out past the forest and whatnot, come to find out there's a gate, and on the other side of the gate is a sidewalk. They traveled. I forget how big it was, but it was like an extremely big property, like in New York City or close to New York Cities. Like so, right outside the gate is a street. There's cars going up and down. Like they never seen this shit before. Come to find out, it's like 2020, I think, man. 2019, man. Like they've been living inside of that thing the whole time, man, and didn't know nothing. Like it was, and this is another thing. The backstory to it was they come to find out that it was a really older relative that was extremely rich and wanted to keep the family in a certain state. He didn't want it to connect with the outside world. And in order to do that, what he did was he had all this money, so he purchased all this property in this area and had this whole thing where it was all wooded, and they set up shop, And to do it, he had to have some of the older generation in on it. So that's how it started. And inside the camp, that older generation became like this trusted community. So as people got older, they let them in on the secret. You see what I'm saying? They made them one of the crew then. Then they got initiated. Now you keep the secret. You help us keep this shit running, man. So all the young ones growing up right now, there's like 10, 12, 20, and 30. Like they don't know nothing. Make sure they don't know nothing. You keep them dumbed down. Keep them not knowing nothing about anything. And that's really what they got going on with us here with this ball, man. That's why this thing is important. That's why where you are, knowing where you are is important, man. It's important. Imagine you in a dark room, man, and you have no idea what's in the room. And you in the room bumbling and stumbling and walking around and bumping into stuff and you stubbing your toes and whatnot and hitting your knee on corners and whatever. Now, imagine that dark room is the house you grew up in. Oh, you a ninja in the dark. You know where everything is. I wish a motherfucker would. I'm turning out the lights. You know what I'm saying? You know where every nook and cranny is. You know how many steps it is. You know how far it is to jump from this spot to that spot and not make a set. You already know. You already know. You see what I'm saying? Knowing where you are is real important. And when they flip this around on us like this, man, look. It's a head case. You stumbling around in the dark, bumping your toe, banging your knee. You see what I'm saying? And that's where they got us. All tilted, off balance, they're confused, stumbling around in the damn dark. In the darkness of space, floating, and it ain't nowhere else to go. Ain't no other land, ain't nothing else. Oh, that's another thing. I can't remember if I said this already in my previous video, but they done came up and found some new land. If you look it up, it's down there, New Zealand. I think they call it New Zealand, New Zealand or something. I'm not gonna look it up right now, but we'll get into it later. They even found some islands off the coast, off of China, I think, somewhere out there in the Pacific. Y'all, you get a chance, look it up. Get a chance, look that thing up. So anyway, yeah, that's what they're doing. That's what I concluded with it. The math, like you can take the dimensions of the room you in right now, and you can take those dimensions and say there's a ball, some sphere floating in one of the corners, and you can make out all the mathematical equations for that sphere to be floating there in that corner, why it is, except it don't ever have to be there. You see what I'm saying? It's all part of an imaginary thing. It only works out on paper. That's like the vacuum of space. The only place there is the vacuum of space is when they make it in that little box, to make a box to create a vacuum. That's it. They make it up. And here's the thing. I wouldn't be so inclined to say they're making it up if I didn't catch them faking videos every time. All the time. So that's pretty much what it was. At this point, like, before I had learned calculus, I was just watching and looking at all these videos, checking every time they came on. And then it's like every time they came on, like, I could pick it out. It got ridiculous to the point where, and like people are so blatantly focused on the fact that they think it's space. This is how they can do the shit and just be standing there or sitting there right in front of you, and they just move around a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They give the appearance like they're bobbing, or they just do this shit right here a little bit like it's moving. Meanwhile, they playing with some little balls floating around and stuff. They're like, oh yeah, playing with the little globs of water. Yeah, let me get the water. Like, come on, man. They just be playing games, and I just like, y'all, people eat it up and looking at it like, you literally just standing there playing. That's CGI, man. I don't know how y'all doing it, how you get the hand-eye coordination so well with it. And then I saw a video, the glasses, the augmented reality contacts. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, that's how the hand-eye coordination is so well with it. And even with that, they still be messing up. And if you, I'm gonna share some links when I get a chance because there's so much to this NASA stuff. This is not the end of it whatsoever. Um, it's just it's just so much other stuff to be talking about, man. Just so much other stuff we can go into. I really want to go into. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do next, but I really want to go into what the body is made of. That's the big thing, and I think that's probably what I'm gonna jump on. And if we have time, we are probably gonna do that today. At least get started on it today. If not in this video or the next, so you can look for that real soon. Um, as a matter of fact, let me see what else I got with the NASA. Uh, this is another thing I've noticed about them. When people, as a collective, start catching on to what they're doing, they switch it up. And when I mean switch it up, like I mean they'll make a whole new way to how they're doing it. Now they come out with this new technology, and they give us some of this new technology, and we be like, "Oh wow, it's cool," but really, all we getting is the toys. We're getting the toys, the playthings. The new technology, they get it first. Actually, the military get it first. They use it before anybody. And the really sophisticated things, like the advanced stuff, we don't get that yet. We'll get that years later. It's like PlayStation. They could have gave you PS5 when they gave you PS2. So we ain't gonna do that. We're gonna make some money off of it. We're gonna give you out a little bit at a time. So they give you the baby stuff at first, and over time they make the resolution a little bit better, give you one extra app or something. It do one more thing you didn't do than the last one. You know what I'm saying? They just keep it going, and that's what they do with us with this technology. So when it comes to things like filters and whatnot, they're using that already. If you can sit there and make a clone like a of some celebrity and do the voiceover and all that other stuff, they got that too. They shit way better. They shit so good you won't notice it. See the shit we get, you be like, oh, I can tell that's fake. You know what I'm saying? Like the average person be like, see, I can tell that's fake. And then they got the different versions, so you can get the cheap version so it look real fake, or you can get the real. You can spend some money and get the good version so it almost look real, but you can still tell it's fake. It'll fake somebody out if they ain't really paying no attention. We be like, yeah, man, that's the good. That's that good stuff right there, man. He paid a lot of money for that. The stuff they got, blow that out the water. You won't even know the difference. The stuff they got look like it'll come out the screen and touch you, and come out and grab you, and you be like, how they do that? Because we get the toys, and even what they show us, man, they ain't nothing compared to what they can do with it. They showing us the little simple things. They When they give it to us, they basically guide our focus on how they want us to use it, which is part of the predictive programming. You'll see it on the TV or on movies first and see them use it that way, and that's how they want you to use it. Now, of course, people can always find other ways, and they're going to hack things, and they're going to rig some stuff. Like, they're going to find different with everything. You sit there and play long enough, you're going to find the Easter egg. You know what I mean? It's sort of like that, except for the most part, they're going to get everybody. We're gonna be in the same patterns, and we're gonna be doing the same things. And with that, we get the apps. We use the apps that they want. We move in a way, in a direction that they want us to move as a collective for society. You see what I'm saying? When people start doing things outside of society's frame, then they become different. That we sort of stand out like a sore thumb, like you're not being the same as everybody else. You know what I mean? So that's how they work this whole thing. And when you start off off balance and you don't know who you are and you don't know where you're from and you don't know where you are, then the process becomes easy for somebody to just indoctrinate and program you with a bunch of stuff that simply don't gotta be true. You just believe it because they said it. And if you think about it, these people from the beginning, they told us they everything we know right now, they told us to us. They told it to us. They told us about your birthdays, your holidays, who was your heroes, who was your enemies, uh, everything. Where you live, where you're from, everything. We go to them right now. I mean, this ancestry.com thing, I got to speak on it real quick, man, because this thing made me so mad. When they first came out with it, I said, hold up. So you telling me the same people that stole you is now going to tell you where you come from for $100? I said, man, you got to be kidding me. Are you for real? People bought that, though. I had a buddy, and it was like years when the first few years they had started. I heard about them doing these tests, and he had got one of those ancestry tests. And I was in the car with him one day, and he was telling me about it. And he was like, "I done sent it off, man." I was like, "You still got it though? You got the packet?" No, I done sent the test off. I was like, "No, I want the packet. What's on the packet? What it says on the packet? Like, you know that little insert you get, all the instructions and the warnings and the legal terms and all that. I wanted to read that because I had been hearing the thing was for entertainment purposes only. So I get the packet right, and I'm reading through it. I'm reading through all the fine print. I'm reading through everything. And then at the end of it, in the real fine print, at the very bottom, it said, for entertainment purposes only. It had a little asterisk beside it. And I was like, oh, man. See, I knew it. The thing is fugazi. Like, they don't say that now. Their word is sort of different, except they worded in a way to explain that these tests are not really accurate. And if you do a little research, you'll see about the sets of twins that have sent in their research, sent in their DNA, and two identical twins now come back and they from different places. You know what I'm saying? Like send it to different companies, 3 or 4 companies at a time, and every company tell them, "Oh, y'all different." How? People send in stuff for their dogs and whatever else, man. Like, oh yeah, you from here, you from there. You gotta look into those tests, man. They're not really straight. But let me get back onto this N.A.S.A thing. This whole thing about where you from, man. And this is what I'm starting to find out. This is the other part. We're gonna go a little bit esoteric with you here, like not really though, but the stuff here in this place is all designed to do certain things. This place is all energy. And when they remove your knowledge of this place from you, you lose your understanding of how this place works. If that makes sense to you. See, like, they didn't teach us in school that this whole place was energy, except they sort of did. Most of us did the experiment with the clock and the potato. You just plug it right into a potato and you can get the clock to work. You say, how was that? Oh, potato just got energy in it. Well, was potato the only thing that got energy in it? Oh, potato don't have enough energy to run anything, so you really can't do anything. It would take a lot of potatoes to run power. They trying to convince you it's going to take a bunch of potatoes to run power to the city. We talking about individuals running power to their houses, and you have a signal, and all you have to do is amplify that signal. That's all you got to do. It's a whole thing where you just have a little bit of energy, hook it up to a small generator. A small motor to get something to turn, to get a little bit more energy, and you can hook that up to an alternator for a car. And once you do that, boom. if you know. And if you don't know, that's real dangerous to do. I expect don't do that at home. Don't try that at home. Matter of fact, man, because you'll kill yourself. You don't know what you're doing, man. You don't know what you're doing. You go look, burn the house down, electrocute yourself, something, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Anyway, it's ways to get electricity. That's why it's starting to come out now. That's why they starting to talk about these hydrogen powered cars. Terrence Howard did this whole thing like with free energy and wanting to have hydrogen powered cars. Oh yeah, Terrence Howard is one of them people, man. He in there for the plans. As soon as he got done with Empire, he started the other career. You had to pay attention and watch him because he switched from man, it's crazy. Cause see, this is how I know that they are on to this social media network. As soon as he stopped with Empire, he did some stuff on TV and he mentioned it, but he did interviews on social media. I can't remember the lady's name, but I'll sit there and watch. He did several interviews on social media. He spoke at a university. I can't remember which one it was. One of them Howard or one of them Ivy League schools. You know what I'm saying? He spoke at one of these universities about his ideas on this energy and on math and a whole lot of stuff. Basic stuff. Stuff like everybody's thought about this. Like, how is it when you multiply by zero, whatever you got just disappears? See what I'm saying? The first time I did taxes, did them for myself, and there's just one little box where you take this one number and then you have to multiply it by another number. Now, the first number you have is you're going to have something there. There's money there, like there's numbers there, there's money there, right? But then you multiply it by this other number. And if you haven't done X, Y, Z, and you have a zero there because you didn't do anything, then you multiply the zero by that number, and that's your answer. That's what you get, and then boom, all that's gone. And then it's like, well, let's go ahead and finish on with your tax. Let's see what's left. I was like, yo, that was the first time I ever questioned like 0 times 1 is nothing. I was like, hold up, I don't understand. If I got money, like, how I just multiply it? I just taking my dough. Yeah, that is breaking me right now. And that's the game because you don't know where you are, who you are, or what you are. You understand what I'm saying? You don't know what land you own. They didn't convince you, oh, man, we own this land and you got to pay for it. They didn't convince you with so much shit. That's why it's important to understand the deception is going on with this serpent tongue on this symbol right here. That's why I got this symbol up. I ain't got no more like to show you as far as NASA. Like, I can sit here and talk about them, talk trash, but I'm not gonna get into videos yet right now because that's gonna take me all day. This right here, this serpent tongue. Just keep that in mind every time you look. And oh yeah, I gotta say this about 2017, I think it was. I think it was like right at the end of 2017 or 18, beginning of 18, and I've been hearing that NASA getting $60 million, $70 million, $80 million a day. And I knew it was up there. I knew they got a lot of money. I know it was like close to 50 million at one point. And I was like, damn, I didn't really, it never really dawns on you. You don't really think about it. So I went and looked it up, man, to see if it was true or not. Because I was in this thing where I started trying to tell people about this, and I wanted to look stuff up to make sure I got my facts right. You know what I mean? When I tell somebody something. Because people love, oh, you said 60 and it's really 50. You was wrong. See, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I try to get my facts right when I tell somebody. And I remember I went and looked it up, and it was like 2018, I believe. Except when I looked it up, I could only find as far as like 2016, 2015. Couldn't even find 2016. They didn't have that yet. And it was like, this is available. And at that point, it was like 66 $66 million. That's what they was meant to a day. That's every day. Not 5 days, 7 days. And Sunday. And the holidays. There's no days off. That's every day. 365 days. And the leap year day too. They don't miss that day neither. They get their money in hand every day. And they give us cartoons, man. With that much money, you know how much fakery and fuckery you can do? With that much money, man, I should not catch you faking space. I shouldn't be able to look at a damn video and find the flaws in what the fuck you doing. I mean, like, even to this day, with the filters, I think that's what I was talking about before with the filters, that Artemis mission. See, they just switch up what they're doing. And with that, I didn't know how they were doing it. At this point, I don't even worry about it because I know the truth gonna come out. At this point, there's so many people watching it, I know that I can wait and find out, and somebody's gonna do a video breaking it down. The whole thing with, and I even making these videos now, I sort of understand what they're doing. If you get the video, because they have these apps, these programs, they're like they're Photoshop programs. So you can go in and you can see if something's been Photoshopped. Excuse me. You can go in and you can see if something's been Photoshopped. So once you get into the right program, and it needs to be an original document, because apparently, like if it's a copy of a document and it's not the original one, it will have the Photoshop properties to it. Now, some things should not happen with that being said, except it will look like Photoshop even if it's a real picture. So what they're doing is, I've seen these guys do this in videos and break it down, and I was like, they could be faking it. I sort of understand what they're doing, and I understand it better now since I'm messing with it a little bit. All you have to do is put the video into the right program, be an original video or picture, and then one of the things is just messing with the exposure and the saturation on the picture, and to see if anything bleeds through, to see if it brightens all the way out. Just see how it looks. And then what you do is you take a picture is real and put it in there and do the same thing and see how that looks. And I'm telling you, you can tell the difference. And even with like I was saying, with the Artemis mission, they had put it through one program and messed with the saturation, and you could see that the stars they had in the background, not only were the stars blue and red, which they shouldn't be, the stars were bleeding through the ships, the metal of whatever they had was using for that Artemis thing. I don't know what they want to call it, a shuttle, a ship, rocket ship, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know what they was launching. I don't even remember, man. I don't really pay too much attention to what they say they sending up. Look, I stopped. I ain't gonna lie, man. I stopped. Yeah, I do got some stuff to talk about. I stopped paying attention to what they were saying when these folks said, we done sent this remote control car to Mars. When they said and I told people, they ain't gonna go, they gonna send something out there. They gonna tell you this out there. They gonna tell them. People. Ain't no video of this rocket ship going to Mars on the way at all. They ain't got one. I ain't seen when I was in the beginning. I was looking. I just want to see, I want to see you flying through space. I want to see you go past the planet. You know what I'm saying? Show me something, man. And I kept saying, why ain't they take one picture of the Earth and the moon? We ain't got one picture of that. Except that one old picture they claimed they was over on the moon, and we ain't got one since. They ain't got one picture of the Earth and the moon in the same shot in space. Not one. And I said that picture would be worth so much money if they would have took that picture. They done flown all the way to Mars and they ain't take that picture. You ain't look back and take that picture not once. Not even for scientific purposes. You ain't got no video. You ain't, just for science reasons. You ain't take no video or anything out there when you flew to Mars. Or you just don't want us to see it. That what you saying? That's what I think. That's what the believers say. They just don't want you to see it. There's so much stuff going. They don't want to scare y'all. That's all it is. They probably seen some aliens or something when they was out there, so they don't want to show you that right there. I can see him saying that. I get that. I can see him saying that. You go ahead. I rock with you. I rock with you when you say that. And then you get all the way out there, right? You get all the way out to Mars, and I don't know. I ain't seen no green grass. I ain't seen no trees growing. They talking about I ain't hardly no water. I think they trying to make water in the atmosphere out there when they get set up. So you got this remote control car out there riding around with these Tuffy tires. You know, when we was little, the Tuffy trucks got the big trucks with the big tough tires on it. The Tuffy tires. They said Tuffy on it with the Tuffy tires. The remote control car with the Tuffy tires on there. And it's riding around and it's picking up samples and stuff and it's exploring Mars and whatnot. And the wheels ain't never got to be, the tires ain't never got to be changed. Nobody got to do no regular maintenance. The thing ain't never got to be cleaned off. Like, it ain't never going to, it don't need no regular maintenance. The oil ain't got to be changed. The power source is for the battery is gonna be good for 10 years. That shit ain't got to be changed. Like, it's just powering itself through solar light and all this other stuff. There ain't nothing wrong with that. That's all good. And I got to stop right there with just that. Don't that sound like that would be some good technology to have right here on Earth everybody can use? You know what I'm saying? It would seem like it would be. Like, I don't even hear about rich folks having technology like this. You know what I mean? Unless they keep it a secret. You know, like, and with that being said, yeah, some rich folk out here that really is got some really rich things and they really is keeping it a secret. They really got some advanced stuff out here and they really is keeping it a secret. I will say that. Everything, like, all this stuff that lasts for like, it's going to last for this 10 years that they're supposed to be up there. All that stuff. And then they're going to pack it up. After 10 years, samples and everything, they're just going to pack up and fly back to Earth. Are you serious? Are you serious? This is what you believe? I think they've changed the plan since then and said the thing ain't never gonna come back or something. I don't know, man. I heard somebody say it. Like I said, I stopped paying attention to that shit. After that shit and everybody believed it, you mean to tell me you got a remote control car out there, you control it from over here on Earth, man, and you got the damn million G hookup and your connection so good you don't never like the lag time. How long is the lag time on that remote control car? It don't never get stuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, they show us some of the craziest stuff. Like, how does this work? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, for real, like, you gonna tell me we got satellite link up all the way to Mars? That's how they got the connection. It's like, and people make this stuff up, but I ain't never heard NASA say this. They just say we got it. They just say, oh, we got it out there, we control it. They don't look, maybe if you I'm just saying, if you believe they got a remote control car on Mars and they riding around, got that thing riding around in the dirt and rocks, picking up samples, and it's going to be out there for years doing it, and it don't need no maintenance, don't need anything done to it. It's all automated. Like, and some of this stuff, like, they admitted to some automated, like, it's just there, like, it's just going to work the whole time. Look, really? You had me at the part where you controlling this thing from Mars. And then here's the thing. The same places you showing us on Mars, where this thing's supposed to be, we can find them right here on Earth. And not only do they admit that they was there, they be like, yeah, we was training there for Mars. You see what I'm saying? It's like we got caught like, oh man, we was training for the mission. We had every time when they used the little tank for the fake space, they be like, yeah, we training in it. Yeah. It's a pattern to how this place works. They look. You seen the movies where it be some military shit that went wrong and it's a bad accident and somebody done died or they lost some equipment, something, and then they saying in the movie like, well, what are we gonna tell the people? Well, just tell them it's a training accident. That's what we always tell them. They ain't playing with you. Just tell them it's a training accident, man. Yo, just tell them it's a training accident because they were just training, man. They was just training, and then the astronaut almost drowned in his helmet, but he was in space though. They didn't want to be he was training. They was like, nah, he was in space. The one about drowning in his helmet, he was in space. Yeah, we actually got water that somehow we done rigged it up. The water can flow into the capsule. Flow into the helmet and then flood his helmet where he can't breathe nothing but damn water. Yeah, that was our fault. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's our suit. That's our suit. This be out there in space. Yeah, yeah. You can actually get water into it. Water is condensation from something. I forgot exactly what they said, but the thing cools and it was condensation and it built up and he's about to drown in space. Boy. I'm gonna tell you what. But when you don't know where you are, we'll believe all types of shit, dog. We'll believe all types of shit. I just try not to laugh too hard sometimes, man. I get sort of stuck, man. I don't even know what to say. I'll be like, yeah. If you say so. Oh, man. And, but yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That's the thing. And I just been watching them all this time. Now, you can go to a lot of guys. There's a lot of guys out here. Once I started getting involved in learning more about what exactly flat Earth is, because I was like a lot of people, like the models I've seen, the little stuff going on. Oh yeah, that's some fuckery. I don't even like that shit, man. That don't make no sense. And here's another thing I got to tell you, the people out here that's becoming aware of their surroundings and waking up, becoming conscious, the people that's trying to keep you asleep, they know you here. They know you waking up. And with that being said, they have groups out here for everybody, for everyone, including people who believe the earth is flat. You see what I'm saying? They got their own groups. It's COINTELPRO. This ain't nothing but COINTELPRO. It ain't the Black Panthers. Ain't the only people they did it to. They do it to all these groups. The government is in on them. Man, the Klan work with the NOI, man. This thing is not what you think it is. The whole divide and conquer, man. The whole reason they always pointing out differences about people is because if we start pointing out these similarities, excuse me, my mouth dry, man, gotta get it out. As soon as we start pointing out the similarities, we're gonna start seeing how much we are alike, and them differences gonna start fading away. You see what I'm saying? So they gotta pump the differences. We naturally would be on this like-mindedness page. That's why you find so many people on a different side of a line having the same like-mindedness about a lot of things. It's just that the perception given to you and the lie being told has got each one thinking in different directions, in a divisive manner instead of a collective and a manner of unity. This is why they run, divide, and conquer. Really. This is a house divided can never stand. If you go to war and the troops are fighting amongst themselves, you're going to lose. You don't really stand half of a chance. Y'all fighting amongst yourselves. A football team, y'all don't get along and y'all always complaining with each other instead of each one doing their job and looking out for the other, y'all going to lose. You see what I'm saying? That's like the years the Cowboys had, they had spent all this money and they had the best squad. They had the best linemen, the biggest linemen. They had paid so much money, like decent run. I think they still had Emmitt Smith at the time, which you can say what you like, but he's all right. Anyway, like I want to say this was like doing, can't remember. Was it Tony Romo? He had just started. Or maybe it was right before him. I can't remember, but this one year in particular, they had, of course, he had spent all this. This is like after he got the new TV, I think. He spent all this money, had this stadium and whatnot. These guys, and I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Pac-Man Jones that they had to, like, make sure they had to keep wraps on him because he kept getting into trouble. They was trying to cover up so much stuff, so many of these supposed mishaps, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but I want to say it involved a strip club and throwing money, and somehow because of that, fights ended up breaking out or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but there was a lot of stuff going on. And I remember they were supposed to be going to training camp, and before training camp, like everybody was getting together, and like the quarterback was off doing his own thing with his girlfriend or something. Like it was crazy, man. Like the team was beefing, they was talking about each other. Some players were like, I don't know, man. I just remember looking at that squad and thinking, they are a bunch of individuals. That's not a team. And they just used to go out and like just lose and lose. Like the games they had a chance to win, they lose. I used to like, man, because they're a bunch of individuals. And anytime they ran across a team that I thought was a team, like they play as a team, oh, they drug every time, man. I would just look at it like, they a bunch of individuals out there. That's why, like, they're not in the collective. They're not in a cohesive state. They not together with that togetherness, man. And that's what they doing with the divide and conquer. They got us divided, so we always gonna fucking go out and lose. Even when we think we winning, we fucking losing. I'm trying to tell you, man. Oh man, what's the saying? One step forward, two steps backwards. Yeah, even when we think we winning, man, in the end, they done gave you a stimulus check. Yeah, it's cause the price of everything going the fuck up, man. Oh yeah, they been paying your bills cause we about to shut down. Ain't gonna be nobody getting no money for a minute, and you know who getting paid? They are. Everybody that work for them ain't gonna be getting paid, but all the politicians doing the shutdown, they still getting paid. Now that's if they shut down. Like right now, what is it? Today's Saturday, so I'm gonna upload this video as soon as I can. It takes a minute to upload, so by Sunday it should be up, and by Sunday we should know whether or not the government shut down or not. Man, there's a lot going on, man, and like I said, because we are all under this serpent energy right here, this tongue right here, and with NASA is like the start of it. It's showing you, man, like if you didn't have the serpent tongue in there, I couldn't really say that. If you would have put a rocket up there, I'd be like, hey, but you got something that look like a rocket right here. I mean, like, oh, but that's the big rocket, so that's the exploration, right? Or something, man. But like, you literally just put this serpent tongue right here in my damn face, man. Like, this nigga won't know what we talking about. This nigga ain't gonna never figure it out. I used to see it too, and I'd be like, that look like a serpent tongue. But of course, people be like, "Oh, you just making, man. You just make it. You looking way into it, man. It's you think too much, man. You just thinking too much." I don't like when people say to me that like you thinking too. I do overthink things, and you can overthink some stuff, man. Sometimes you just need to go out and do it. But yeah, sometimes it ain't overthinking. Sometimes you need to. Sometimes you need to. Oh, and I gotta say this story, man, because everybody you meet in this place is important, and this is something different, man. This is on a spiritual side, man. Like, and I'm just learning about this, and we're gonna get into it because I'm just, hey, this energy is all around you. We go through it, we feel it. It's getting siphoned off of us in good and bad ways, and you got to know about it's what makes your ass tired. It what bring you down. It's part of what makes your day even so much worse. It's the thing that give you nightmares and make you wake up in cold sweats. It's the thing that make you go to sleep and sleep for 10 hours and feel like you ain't slept at all. Man, and when you start handling, well, as they say, slaying the dragon, handling them demons, and I really think that's what that phrase goes to, slaying the dragon. Like, once you start doing that, man, the worm gonna turn. The worm gonna turn in so many ways. In so many ways. But yeah, this energy all around you, man, you gotta really pay attention to it. And it has a lot to do with us. Who you are, what you are, your state of being, and your path in this place. You know? So that energy is important. And that's just a little bit of an introduction into this whole N.A.S.A thing, and a little chit chat about your energy and whatnot. And we got so much to go with that. And I believe like next episode, that's what I'm gonna do. We definitely got to go there and start off with that energy and start getting, cause everybody got to get their energy right on this path to enlightenment. That's what it's about. I used to say like this whole concept line of thinking, because I equated spirituality with religion, and spirituality has nothing to do with religion. Religion is something completely different. Religion is a set of rules given to you to follow. In spirituality, the code is written in your DNA. It's called the Akashic records. You know who you are. You know what you are. You know what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. And this world is what got you flipped and thinking you're supposed to be doing something else. Out here running for the bag for these folk. That's what it got us thinking. And in this world, like, you got to have some money to survive in this world, or else you won't survive too long. And they just got us focused on their way to get it instead of a more balanced way, a more copacetic way, shall I say. A way that's more not so hard on the spirit. As you heard these rappers say, I sold my soul. Yeah. It's a lot of things that happen before you get to that point. And they probably went through a lot of it. So that's what I'm talking about. It's a whole, money's easy. It's two things, and I'm gonna end up with it. I'm gonna say this right here, man, because I talk several people. I talk to people all the time about certain things, man, and like one thing I heard people repeat, and I was the same way, and I thought that's all it was. Ain't but two things in this world for a man to get, and that's money and pussy. Don't nothing else matter. And if you get one, you can get the other. Don't nothing else matter. And on top of that, those are the two easiest things in this world to get. The only real question is, what are you willing to do to get it? You see what I'm saying? A lot of us ain't willing to do what it takes to get those things. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't want to do that. We don't want to do this. You know? And some people just ain't found what it is they want to do yet, or how they want to approach it, or what exactly it is they want. And at the end of the day, if that's all you think there is out here, then they won. That's all they want you to think is out here. Ain't nothing else out here. Survival of the fittest. That's their game. That's what they got us on. See, survival of the fittest doesn't come into play when you live in a world of abundance and people are vegans, meaning you don't eat meat, you're not drinking the milk from another animal. You know what I'm saying? You don't eat the babies of another animal. You eating plants, fruits, vegetables, different nuts. Pause, because you can't say everything. Yeah. Eating natural. That's it, from the earth. You ever heard somebody say, I try to eat from the earth? Yeah. That's what they talking about. You eating from the earth. That old saying, you are what you eat. What you eating. See, and here's the thing. We don't know what we are. So, yeah, this is a good segue into my next part. Mouth dry. Excuse me. Let me get it together. It's a good segue into my next spot, man, because we don't know what we are. They don't let us play this game and you this and you that. You can be whatever you want to be. At this point, you can identify as a ferret if you want to. Man, like, this crazy. Because you don't know what you are. And they like it that way. Once again, we're always leaving you dazed and confused. Dazed and confused. If you don't know where you are, it starts the whole path of you don't know what you are. And all they got to do is not tell you. And then, here's the crazy part. If they don't tell us, we don't know shit. We don't know what to say if they don't say it. We don't figure it out. It's too much to think about. I don't worry about that type of stuff. I don't like to think about that type of stuff. You know why? Because they ain't say nothing to you. They ain't told you what it was yet. If they'd have told you what's happening, you'd be like, man, did you hear them? Oh, man, you'd be all over it. But they ain't told you, you don't want to think about it. Let somebody else do the thinking. And we just stay dazed and confused. That's why we in the weekdays. We go to work for the weekend. So by the weekend, we are weekend. And the rest of the days, we are dazed and confused. Even Sunday, you think you're refueling on Sunday? What do you really do on Sunday? Think about it. You go to church, man. What? How you really feel? You ain't. You be having to go to bed on Sunday. You go to bed late on Sunday. You be tired come Monday. Tired. You ever wonder why that is? Sure enough. We gonna get into it though. We gonna explain why that is. We gonna talk about your power, your energy, who you are, what you are, what the conscious mind is, what the subconscious mind is. Yeah, we gonna get into it all. Until next time, like, share, subscribe. I want to thank you again coming out to the presentation. It's Cole Brown. Peace.